Hello, internet listeners. Or should I say, what does she want? Chocolate? Some kind of goddamn fruit drink or something? This is the Caged Men podcast. I am Cody Bridges, and I am in a prison of my own making. I am on a quest to watch every Nicolas Cage film that he has ever acted in. I am not alone. I am joined today by a new cellmate, Anthony. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Cody. My name's Anthony Jordan. I've known Cody here for quite some time. I myself, comedian, writer, director, cook, every other thing in the back of the house. But today I'm here happily to speak about Nick Cage with Cody.
And I'm glad to have somebody here. As I have said to everyone who's joined me, I cannot do this by myself. I will go insane, but I cannot do this by myself. We are here to talk about the 1994 release, Guarding Tess. So as some of my viewers or listeners know, we are on the upswing. We started at the middlemost Cage movie, and this is one of the rise. We watched one of the technically better than median Nick Cage movies. Technically. Big stress on technically there, because this was...
For as much Nick Cage is in this movie, it is the least Nick Cage of the movies that I have seen myself.
Oh, yeah. I've talked about this with other people who I've had on. You get different stages of Nick Cage. There's really no such thing as subtle Nick Cage, but there is like little Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you lose a lot of his character, a lot of his strengths in acting when you get sort of that smaller performance out of him. This is a little Nick Cage movie.
This is a truly ensemble for him. I see when he's on the airplane, like that's this rant, and it's like, oh, something's gonna happen, right? You know, I don't want to jump ahead of anything here, but
this is a movie where, for folks who have not seen it, which I would not be surprised if you haven't. This is not by any means
first time seeing it for me.
My first time as well. Yeah, this is, and I mean, for reference, there's 109 movies on my Nick Cage master list as of right now.
All right.
So there's tons of them I haven't seen. But this one, for reference, just the back of the box says, a former U.S. First Lady wants a particular Secret Service agent to head her bodyguard detail, even though he can't stand her.
And that's literally it. Oh my God.
That's the whole movie.
You don't have to see the movie after reading that.
It's truly. And maybe you shouldn't. This movie stars Nicolas Cage and Shirley MacLaine, who is a legendary old Hollywood actress, famous for her role in The Apartment, where she won an Oscar. If you've never seen that movie, if you walk away from this movie thinking, should I see Guarding Tess? No, you should see The Apartment instead. But she is a legendary actress. She's terrific. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, though, because this is a scientific podcast. So we are doing a test of our mental states here.
Wonderful.
So I do have some survey statements that I would like you to respond to. And there will be 3 statements. I'm going to ask you to rate your agreement of those statements on a scale of 1 to 7.
1 to 7.
So 7 would be, I agree the most with this statement, and 1 would be, I disagree the most with this statement. And I'm going to take these all in as a study. If you come back, I'm just going to ask you the last one, and you'll see why. So, statement 1. I enjoy Nicolas Cage movies.
7.
7. Okay. Yeah, 7. 2. Nicolas Cage makes mostly good movies? Different question.
I'd say like a hard 5.
5.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right pitch down the middle. That's pretty fair. Okay. And then the last one. In light of watching this movie, Guarding Tess, I want to watch more Nicolas Cage movies.
Now, see, it's like how I see, like, is this the first Nicolas Cage movie I've seen?
Exactly.
So it's like, so it's yeah, right. So it's like if this is the first Nicolas Cage movie that I've seen, this is my introduction to this actor. Ooh, I might have to say no. It's so on a scale,
on a 1 to 7. Yeah.
1 to 7 scale, probably like a 4.
Yeah.
Because and it's and that's like I think it's based on the actual movie itself.
That's
not as
fair.
opposed to like what Nick Cage does in it.
I think that's fair. And I think this movie doesn't have a lot going for it in terms of I've only done a few of these so far.
Mm-hmm.
And truly seeing him when he has stuff to do where it's like, here's a scene where you get to freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a scene where you get to fist fight somebody. Those are really where he shines, I think. When he's given a chance to get way big, to be over the top, to do too much, is where he's had his biggest successes. I don't need to couch this. Con Air is the best one we've done so far. And that's truly it. The rest of them have all been like middle to failures, pretty much exclusively. So this movie does fall in that range of like, we just don't get Nick Cage doing very much. The movie's about almost nothing.
Right.
It's a lot of wheel spinning. I take notes on these for reference. I recorded some of these out of order. The last one I recorded was Drive Angry. I took 6 or 7 pages of notes about Drive Angry.
Yeah.
I got 2.5 out of Guarding Tess.
And I think like Nick Cage, while like he is like a very special kind of actor, Guarding Tess, it's one of those deals where it's like Nick Cage can either play a character that is so mentally distraught and so torn and so over the edge and or he can play a decent man stuck on an airplane full of convicts that he shouldn't be with and he has to save his friend. So it's like there has to be a polar opposite.
Yeah.
In Nick Cage movies. And Guarding Tess, none of that happens.
Yeah, he doesn't hit any of his strengths in this movie. And he has moments where
there are flickers.
Yeah.
There are just little flickers because he's Nick Cage.
Peeks through the keyhole is what we get. Where it's like, that's like something the director couldn't get him to stop.
You're right. There's no way that you were going to get a different kind of take out of him.
So we open on the movie. If you've never seen it, Nick Cage is delivering breakfast in bed to a closed door. He is referring to someone, Mrs. Carlyle, that he's supposed to bringing breakfast to. He's supposed to be a Secret Service agent based on what we know from trailers in the back of the box. He has put his gun on the counter, like he's not going to bring it with him. But the person, whoever he's trying to bring breakfast to, doesn't open the door. So he leaves. And he's on an airplane. And if you had not seen a trailer, you would be like, okay, so I wonder what that scene's about. It turns out he is supposed to be the guard for this old first lady.
The previous president, it's his, she is the first lady, because they make reference that it's like, president now was vice president, and he won type of thing. So it's like she is just out of the eye.
She is a pretty, not really a close analog to any real First Lady as far as I could tell. This movie sits at, like, it's 94, so we would be in year 1 or 2 of Clinton's first presidency. She's not really a Barbara Bush analog. She's not really a Nancy Reagan analog. She's not really a Hillary Clinton analog. She's not really...
And I think you mentioned this earlier. She's almost just a sitcom idea of a first lady.
She is very much like... And this gets into where I think this movie, why it exists a little bit. This era introduced this sort of like sitcom-y feeling about the presidency. I think Clinton sort of had everyone on the back leg, and it was like everything's kind of chill. He obviously had some problems later, and in retrospect there are things that are not great about his time in office. Right. But there was a feeling of like the president's kind of a neat guy who goes on talk shows.
Yeah, plays saxophone.
And so a lot of TV and movies were getting this idea that you could tell a story about the federal government that was kind of jokey and light, and there were these light, relatable people. That's hard to imagine now. So maybe that's part of why this movie doesn't play.
Right. And I think at the time, there were probably at least a dozen other films that involved, our government, whether, it's like The First Kid starring Sinbad, where it's like,
Chasing Liberty, I believe, is another like Secret Service focused.
Right.
I was thinking of The American President, which is a rom-com about a seated president, like who's running for re-election and is also dating, which is like it's a very weird genre of movie now. Where if I was picturing a modern president in any of these circumstances, I would be extremely upset and not happy. So he's got this job that he hates, and he's leaving it for the first time where he doesn't have to take care of this old lady. He goes back to Washington, and immediately he gets into a meeting with his boss who tells him he's got to go back.
And I think it's important to say, you get one of those glimpses of the Nick Cage you can't control on the airplane. Mm-hmm. He's sitting there, he gets a drink or something like that, and all of a sudden he has a small laughing fit. Because he realizes he's free. He's finally free of this old lady. And he's going to get to do something with his life.
It's like the scene in if anyone's seen Argo, where they get all the prisoners out and they finally announce over the air that they can have drinks because they're out of Iranian airspace. And all the hostages like clench that they're finally free. It's like that. That's the mood. But the level of elation he's reached is like he's been freed from authoritarianism. But his boss does tell him,
or like he had just found out that his face had been replaced with another face, and he starts laughing in that same way.
We have ages to go before we get to talk about Face Off, which apparently is a much better movie than this according to most general consensus. But he has to go back. His boss tells him that the First Lady requested him through her connection to the actual president. So she's flexing this humongous influence that she has. And he goes back and goes to, I guess, the very next day to just bring her breakfast in bed again.
And when he's receiving this news, I think that's where you get to see a little bit of, the actor Nick Cage, because it is this slow beat down that he takes, because the man in charge, the man above him, sits down and he's like, I got a call from the president. And Nick Cage is like, oh, you don't say. And he's like, yeah. And he says he really wants you back on this. He wants his top guy. He said you. And you could just see the soul drain from Nick Cage as he's sitting there, he's like, oh my God. No.
He gets I really did think this movie was going to show him at that height for the rest of the movie. Like he was gonna be like totally flipping out all the time. But it's almost as if this conversation does like literally suck his soul away because he's very defeated for almost the whole rest of the movie. But he gets back. We finally meet who he's actually guarding. Tess Carlisle is Shirley MacLaine. She is this very high-strung, based on what they say, she's like kind of a hermit. She doesn't go out very much. She's a widow. Her husband, the president, died in office and was replaced by the vice president, who's the current president in the movie, and then got reelected. And so she's got this very very weird energy too.
She's a shut-in.
She's a shut-in. She's a grouch. I would say that's
classic.
Fair.
Yeah, classic grouch.
And she's got like a lot of old lady habits.
And you know what the thing is? It's like because she's cutting coupons, or it's like she's cutting things out of the newspaper.
Yeah, she's doing like clippings,
and it's like, oh, print. Where did it go?
Feels so far away. It even enhances how old-fashioned she seems now that feels absolutely crazy. I did write Shirley MacLaine might outclass Nick Cage in this one. And just in terms of how much stuff they're given to do in this movie.
Just a sense of the time. Everyone was smoking inside.
Oh, that too.
Smoking everywhere.
Everybody smokes in this movie too. It's like Chinatown. So they have a little tete-a-tete where she's talking about how she wants to go to the opera and about how like he's happy because it's like the first time she'll be going out in a long time, but of course he's happy in that like gritted teeth, grimacy kind of way.
He really does resent her at this point because now he feels like she's just holding him back.
Oh yeah.
Because they were watching when he returns to the house, they're watching the TV and a newscast is going on, and the other security team is watching. It's like, oh, look at them. They got the new 3260s or something, some...
Yeah, they were... They used... I found out... So they're watching like an actual Secret Service emergency is what it is. And it's actually from riots in South America. Is where they got the actual footage. But, yeah, he's watching it and was like...
No, that should be me.
You can see him all jealous that he
that
doesn't
should be me.
Get to be he's
like he really wants to point his gun at the TV and then at himself and then at the TV.
I did write during their first little argument, and you tell me if you felt this way. Did you detect some sexual tension, like in a way that definitely wasn't in the script, but maybe was
all right
misplayed?
Shirley MacLaine was probably not as old as Tess. Right. So, and you know what? Shirley MacLaine, she still has needs.
But it had the like...
I don't think a woman like Shirley MacLaine is just going to give up her essence because, I'm getting older. It's like, no.
She has the bearing still of the very attractive woman she always was.
And it's I think it's like she maybe been a little bit ahead of the curve because isn't that what everyone says Helen Mirren is all about now?
Oh yeah, Helen Mirren is not losing any of that.
Right.
So but it does.
Was it intended?
No, I don't think so. But it has, and the problem I think is that in the language of movie making, the setup is a rom-com setup.
Yeah.
Very much, and he's tough and he likes to live by the rules, and she's got her own set of feelings and rules, and they're always butting heads, but they have to work together, and then they find out they have some common ground, and then
an odd couple of sorts, an odd couple with
an odd couple. The many hundreds of rom-coms just like this that came out in the 90s. It has all the writing beats of it, except she's like 50 years older than him in the movie.
And I'm sure just with that point of view, you could find a dozen movies where it's like, oh, this grumpy old man, and then this younger woman, they fix cars now together, or some bullshit like that.
Yeah. It just there were moments while they were talking where I was like, the director needed them to cool off a little. Because sometimes it was just leaning too much into that trope. And boy was it weird. She does demand his presence. Again, these two scenes are so goddamn similar. He goes up and she says she wants to go to the opera, and he's happy. He says he hates the opera and he'd rather watch Mr. Ed. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's one of those things, like, I think when he gets back after he's found out that this is what his life is going to be, he has that little powwow with another serviceman saying, hey, in so many years you're going to be done, you're going to have your full pension, you're going to have all this, why would you want to ruin something like that? And it's one of those little character, it's like, oh no, he wants the action.
Yeah, like he wants to dive in front of a bullet.
His gun is shaking at his side, and when like she I want to go to the opera, and it's more of a slap in his face because it's like he's capable of so much as an agent.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh, you want me to drag you to the opera? I should be protecting the president himself right now, but here I am dragging you to the opera. Why can't we just sit home and watch Mr. Ed?
He's got, and so we cut from that scene almost immediately to a remarkably similar scene where she turns on the emergency alarm while they're in the middle of something, just to tell him that she wants to golf. So we get a little comedy scene with...
May I interject about the opera? There is an important scene that I didn't quite get at first, and I had to watch it again. So they're in the opera, right?
Well, the opera's ages later, because this movie has the pacing of like most nightmares.
Right.
But, yes. So, I mean, and the golf thing's short. They go golfing. She treats him like a butler. They have an argument while they're at golf.
It's a pissing contest.
Yes.
It's a dick measuring contest.
I wrote, this is a golf game of wills. So she hits a ball and takes the mulligan and immediately hits a second ball that goes where she wants it. And so she goes, can you get the other ball? And he's like, no. Obviously, because if I step away from your side, you're
like a dog, she orders him.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm not gonna fetch ball. He gets into her about how he's gonna do everything by the book now. No more of her little requests and all the stuff she makes him do.
We're not butlers.
And he's immediately in the next scene bragging about it at a bar to all his Secret Service friends. And they're like, you didn't say that. And he's like, I did. And he repeats exactly what he said. And the phone rings at the bar, and the bartender's like, it's for a Mr... I can't remember this guy's name. This is the kind of movie this is. I have no idea the name of the character he plays in this movie. It's Nick Cage. It's for Nicolas Cage. And he gets up...
Doug Chesnick.
Doug Chesnick. Thank you.
Doug Chesnick. What an awful name.
Awful. It's the phone for Doug Chesnick, and he answers the phone, and immediately the secretary goes, please hold for the president. So the president of the United States starts chewing him out. I had to make the note. Did you notice that the moment the president gets on the phone, he starts screaming like he was yelling across a football field? That's the Nick Cage I wanted the whole movie, was that sort of reactiveness.
Responding, yes. Because it's one of those things where I can imagine, Nicolas Cage just in his mind, the president calls me. Now, this is pre-National Treasure.
Pre-National Treasure,
right?
Yeah.
He's still for all this
is
stuff.
An early Nick Cage movie.
Right. And yes, that energy level is just how he would approach that.
It's almost as though Nicolas Cage said, well, if I got on the phone,
right, that's exactly.
I would need to scream as loud as I could because I would be so
excited. I want to show the president my enthusiasm for him.
Fun fact, the president is played by the writer-director of this movie. That's whose voice that is. And he chews him out. He's in a weird, he's doing...
I got a test problem, Doug.
I got a test problem. I'm on the goddamn phone with you instead of being president. And it's giving, in a way that's very weird. It's almost like this movie was written a while ago. The fact that it's a president who died in office... and that she is an almost Jackie Kennedy type, like a super popular first lady. She's on
she's made us to believe, the movie's made to believe that wherever she goes, people
wave at her and love her, and so the president is very Lyndon B. Johnson. This thick Southern accent, curses like a sailor, like totally rude. It's almost like this movie was written for that era. And then got stuck on a shelf for 20 years. And then they were like, well, we can't do that anymore. So maybe instead it would be, But he chews him out and tells him that he's not going to be rude to Tess again. And so...
Figure it out, Doug.
Figure it out, Doug.
I need you to figure this problem out for me.
It's so... I was like, I wonder what fun character actor they got to play the president, and finding out that it was just the writer ADRing after is very upsetting. That's too bad. He was one of the funnier parts of the movie though. So
yes, the phone calls were good, were very good.
So they start getting ready to go to the opera. All of her staff also are hilarious character actors too,
and they don't dip into some. It's just like.
Her nurse is the British actor who plays Vernon in the Harry Potter movies, Harry's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
The driver is another character actor who's in a ton of like screwball and goofy comedies. And we get about 10 minutes total of all of them. And it's sort of a trend in Nick Cage movies where it is he's a very leading man where it's the movie has to be about him a lot. And so you miss out on these little moments with these.
Because I was having it's I think I can figure out who the Secret Service guy, because they always have trench coats on.
Yeah.
And they're drinking coffee and things like that. And then it's yes, inside there's this group of people. It's the uncle from Harry Potter, and I'm but what is he's not a Secret Service man. I hope he's not in charge of any health related things.
he's a nurse
because he's eating most of the time.
He spends
he's just always making his sandwiches. Is he just her sandwich? But no, there's a cook. There's a guy in a white chef's coat. So what is the point? Now, granted, I like that he's there. I personally was oh, that's her brother. It
definitely has the setup of all the Secret Service guys are guys Nick Cage picked, and all of the help are people that Tess was well, I'm going to then intentionally pick people who are very odd.
Who are going to make your life tough.
I'm going to find these quirky people to annoy you on purpose. They're on their way to this. To the opera. They all pile into the car, and we get our first or second sort of game of wills pissing contest where they are getting in the car. And Nick Cage opens the door on the passenger side, and she tries to scoot over to the driver's side. Why is that important? A thing I learned from this movie, Secret Service want the protected person behind the passenger, because then both the driver and the bodyguard can see what the person
clear
is
line of view. Yes.
She gets upset because she doesn't want the sun in her eyes.
Right, she doesn't want the sun on her face, so I'm going to sit on the other side, and oof.
And Nick Cage literally stonewalls her in a scene that felt like it took 20 minutes. I was feeling just as frustrated as all the other people waiting during this, because they let this beat last way too long.
You could intercut Caddyshack's well, we're waiting. Like, right in there, because they cut back and forth enough. You know, and then they cut to the guy outside the car behind the other car, and he's just holding a machine gun going, come on, go.
Someone in the second car, I did write this line, goes, let her sit on the hood, come on. And I was like, yeah, that's how I feel right now. Let's get the plot. So she relents, I guess, because missing the opera would be worse than winning this battle. And they go to the opera. And I thought this next scene was revealing some kind of sweetness and maybe would be like a sweet moment. This is the scene I'm sure you were alluding to.
Yes, it is.
So they're sat at the opera. Nick Cage is behind her in the Wilkes Bluth deflection zone, as he's supposed to be. She is sitting in front of him. They have a box, so they're in like one of those balconies up high. A very rich person's seat, as she is entitled.
They have their own spotlights on them, so that you down on the floor should know to look up at them and see.
It's the worst lit opera in history because the house is completely bright. Mm-hmm. The stage is the same. It's a movie, whatever. But the stage is the same lighting as the whole rest of the house. And she like drifts off. Mm-hmm. She starts to fall asleep.
Take just a little snooze.
And I saw this moment with the music playing in the background. Nick Cage is, of course, very mindful because he's a bodyguard. And he starts noticing people see her. And
looks across the way, a couple other old ladies with their spectacles going, oh my God.
They've got their opera glasses, their binoculars, and they're
tapping each other on the shoulders.
They're pointing. Mm-hmm. And he wants to sort of protect her.
Now, there was a beat in there that I thought he would just leave her out there.
Oh.
Like, initially, because he sees the situation, he assesses it, he gives a visual assessment, and there's a moment where he kind of leans, like, initially he just kind of leans back in his chair. I'm like, oh my God, is he going to leave her out there? Oh. You know?
See, I thought he was about to do something smarter because there's a curtain right next to her. I thought he was going to lean over and undo. It had a little like ballast, like rope. I thought he was going to undo it so that the curtain sort of furled and blocked her, so she wasn't in view of the rest of the audience anymore, and so that she,
obstructing the camera's view, obstructing the people's view.
Which, she might wake up and get upset that she can't see, but she was asleep anyway. And I was like, this is going to be a sweet little moment, maybe. Maybe we're seeing that he doesn't think this is so bad after all. No, he does the dumbest thing I can imagine.
Marx Brothers style.
He decides he's just going to kind of grab the back of her chair and try to like scoot it back. And I guess she's on like a wooden floor, and there's like a little lip divider to a carpeted floor, and the back of the chair hits that, and she sort of
jostles away
and then makes a noise, and then people, that Foley noise where people gasp. That sort of, and she gives him the fucking this look. Oh my God. And she's about to kill him. And
you're embarrassed in the moment. It happens, you see it, and you're like, oh my God, that was the worst. That was the worst outcome you could have had right there.
And she's like, we're leaving, we're driving through the night, I'm not staying here. But then she walks out into the lobby, and it's like she was in the show. Mm-hmm. So many people are so happy to see her.
It's almost like she had died. It's like a shining moment, because it's the worst moment of your not your life, because your husband's dead,
right?
But like that was a really horrible thing, and then all of a sudden you go out and all these people are just applauding. They're lined a walkway for you.
It's in a way that stretches belief.
Well, it's like, why should I feel bad for Shirley MacLaine at any point? Because even when bad things happen to her, people are still like, oh yeah.
All these people were pointing at her and saw that she was asleep, and apparently the only reason was because they were just excited she was there.
Part of me was thinking it was because it was a lot of people her own age, and they're all like, "Don't worry, I fall asleep all the time." Like, you go, girl. It's okay to fall asleep.
Imagine there is a little old lady in this scene who is trying to get an autograph.
Oh, yes.
And Nick Cage, I was like, does he ruin this moment too by like football tackling this lady? No, he handles it very well. She's like ruffling through a bag, and he's like, "You can't." And she's like, "Oh, I just want an autograph. I'm looking for her to sign." And he's like, "Take my card. Send me a letter. She'll sign a picture." And the lady's like, "Oh, that's great." And it's like, this lady's more famous than most
and the pacing of that scene, because they cut to this person moving through the crowd, and Nick Cage, he spots, and the music changes a little bit.
She looks like an assassin.
Yes, like she has dark under her eyes, and she's like, but then it gets to the end where Nick Cage like approaches her, and she's just this old lady.
She's like fully a foot and a half shorter than Nick Cage too.
And it's just like, oh wow. So Nick Cage really wants someone to shoot Shirley MacLaine?
This movie does that a lot, because they're trying to get the point across that what Nick Cage wants more than anything
is some action.
Yeah, is that he wants to be like the star of a terrible
Clint Eastwood in that movie where he's a Secret Service guy. He wants to be that.
He wants Air Force One.
Yeah.
He wants, like he wants like the terrible thing to happen so that he can be.
He wants to be the guy driving Kennedy.
Yes, sadly, maybe misguided, but whatever. So
that'd be a movie I'd watch.
Whoops! Whoops! The movie. They did make a movie of that. It's called the Zapruder film. It's what they. That's what they got.
If you look closely, Nick Cage is actually driving.
He is in it, yeah.
Time machine.
So, the night goes better than expected. They wind up leaving the next morning instead. She decides she wants to stay.
Yes. The people are wonderful here. I'm going to stay.
Mm-hmm. They have another scene that did get a genuine laugh out of me, which is they have... some of the Secret Service guys have a little conversation about which First Lady could win in a boxing match.
Oh yeah, that was a classic. Yes, a classic bit.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like right out of The Simpsons.
Which also does set up like the timing in a weird way again, because they mention Nancy as a former president. Now this movie came out in 1994, and I immediately was like, okay, 92 would have been when Clinton got elected the first time. So are they presupposing here then that Carlisle was Bush Sr.? Because otherwise the timeline just doesn't, there's not enough time. It doesn't make sense. There needs to be at least one president.
And this is one of those things that make Nick Cage movies great. They don't need to be...
Yeah, they don't bother with like, it's just like, hey, there was a president, he's dead, this was his wife. Get over it. I don't know how long presidential terms are. 1 year? 3? Do you know? So, but they talk about Nancy Reagan, and Tess leans out of the car to one of the Secret Service agents to ask for a Baby Ruth, and then gets her driver to ditch them.
Yep.
Which is insane. They literally drive off. All the Secret Service agents scramble to try to get back in the car to chase after her. They lose her on the road.
And this is one of those crazy things, like being in 1994, because immediately when this happens, I'm like, oh, you don't have some type of tracker on this car. There's not some type of GPS.
You have a low jack to the First
That's
Lady.
What I said, yeah, like, oh, don't worry, we got the low jack. You know, of course you're going to have to call someone back in 1994 to figure out, and you're still only going to get a 10 square mile radius of where this car
It's
could
apparently
be.
An untraced car.
Yep, just some random car.
Her driver's a guy she knew before she had Secret Service detail. Mm-hmm. It's a personal vehicle, so she's just gone.
Yep.
And they do leave behind the nurse.
Oh my gosh!
Which I was like,
right, that was the one for me. Yeah.
He walks out all sad. Oh,
he comes out. He just gives the classic look back and forth, and then cut to everyone else running around.
So, they then call the sheriff department, who, knowing what the call is about, put them on speaker so they can all laugh at them as a department.
Because of course, in this world, Nick Cage, I'm assuming, has done them dirty, I'm a Secret Service and you're a small town sheriffs.
And then they say that they lost her again, which implies to me she's done this many times.
Duke's a hazard at it.
She just keeps blowing off. So they do find her, and Nick Cage gets into a fight with her, about why do they even want them around, and he very pettily reminds her that she could deny Secret Service.
Yes.
She doesn't need to have it. It's an offer for lots of people in government, but she doesn't need to have it. Famously, once Jackie Kennedy married Onassis and became Jackie Onassis, she dropped Secret Service detail because she was in the company of one of the richest men in the world. She didn't need the Secret Service anymore. But she does. She decides to blow them off because they have this fight, and she gets him mad and he gets her mad. Again, in a moment that is very like a rom-com beat.
Yes, rom-com, coming of age. A parent yelling at a kid, if you want to run away, why don't you just run away?
It was like Lady Bird. Where she says, write a number of how much money I owe you and I'll pay it off and you never have to see me again.
Yep. And
But, so, of course, Nick Cage finds out later, because even though he's in charge, he's always the last to know everything. He comes back, and this did make me laugh, that the Secret Service agents are walking out and they're like, yeah, she told us to leave and to take the flag with us. So apparently she's also defecting. She's not even American anymore.
Yep, all their shit, get it out, and take that flag.
Take the flag with you. Yep. I'm Russian now. Forget it.
But it's even at that point where it's like you'd think this is, this is a point where Nick Cage is gonna not turn it up a notch. This is no. Like he comes back
cool as a cucumber,
right? And he's like, I need premise. I need watches on the premises. We're gonna take this and do this. And let's start the thing now.
He's almost desperate for her attention. I think because he knows the president might have him extrajudicially killed if he doesn't. But also, so they start, first, before they set up the perimeter, he does try to get his way in just by, schmoozing with the help. Which, another scene that did get a genuine laugh, where the nurse it makes some ransom demands. They ask for $100 and booze, I think, and a copy of a VHS tape. Where I was like, that's great. I was like, these character actors need more time in this movie. He's funny. But then he sets up the perimeter, and then they just sort of stalk her for what seems like a week. And I did catch this moment earlier in the movie. When he comes back for the first time, she tells him that she has big news. Mm-hmm. And she says 3 things.
Yep.
2 of them meant to sound ludicrous, and one of them being that she wants to go to the opera.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things she says is, I have an inoperable brain tumor. And then pause. And then she says something about, something nuts about, jujitsu or snakes. I can't even remember. She says something insane. And then she says, and the third thing is, I want to go to the opera. And she goes, guess which one is true? And of course, in the moment, you're like, oh, it's the opera. Mm-hmm. And she's being mean. Mm-hmm. She goes to the doctor during these scenes.
Yep.
And they follow her.
Right. She has chosen not to have it, have the Secret Service, and she goes to a hospital, which is if you have Secret Service, they call ahead, they make sure, they do all this plan, and it's just a bunch of guys running around the parking lot. She pulls up.
They just sort of jog up, and she's like, leave me alone, go away.
Yeah, they're trying to quickly cover the perimeter, making sure there aren't any people of interest in a way. And
But she's going in for an MRI because she does have a brain tumor.
yes.
Which is, I thought was going to be more of the plot, and it kind of isn't. This is like the last they talk about it in the whole movie. Like she drops that where it's almost like she was going to tell him that, and that's why she wanted him back, but then decided to like couch it and roll back and say something else to like guard
I'm going to
her.
be petty for a little while.
Yeah, she's like, or like, she doesn't want to be that vulnerable in
Right.
front of this guy that she secretly obviously wants around, but can't force herself to say that.
Because
And
yeah.
And then we get this scene where it's like, okay, that's true, maybe that's what she's getting after, but we really don't get... It comes up again one other time as sort of like just a little drop. But I was like, that's so weird that this is in the movie at all.
Right? Because is that at the point that Nick Cage knows?
No.
No, okay.
Because he doesn't find out until twist. Something plot related actually does happen in this movie eventually. But there is a portion later in the movie where things get a little bit thrillery and more Secret Service agents show up, and one of them says she takes these pills, what are they for? And they're like, headaches. And they're like, they're not for headaches, she has a brain tumor. And they're all like, what? Because no one knew.
But I wish, because I feel like there was a moment there that Nick Cage, like, it is like a secret between them.
They do. So, immediately following the hospital visit, she finds out she's getting a visit from her son, Barry. Barry, I said, was very Trump-like, down to the hair even.
It was rough, yeah.
And he has like a real estate...
He doesn't even look young.
No.
Like, he already has like a leathered face. Like he's already a lobbyist for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, and his tongue is forked.
It's very... Like, he shows up and he immediately has a real estate plan that he wants her to invest in. That's the whole reason for his visit. He has a presentation with, like, poster board, and you can just see on her face that she's like, so we're not visiting.
It's one of the, like, he's saying the lines, they just need some support,
confidence or something,
right?
yeah.
And it's like, we just need a letter. We would just need, and you can see her getting very sad. She has a genuine happy moment when he shows up. Like she runs out to him. Oh my God, my boy! Oh, and like the level of disappointment. If you've ever disappointed someone you love,
you know that look.
Like this is a look where it's just like, oh my God, you're doing this to me, aren't you? And it's like, oh.
So she says no, and he immediately leaves. And then we watch a sad montage of news clips about her husband. She's like put herself in her room alone to watch like when he got nominated, them doing state visits, and then his in-state funeral because he died while he was president. And it cuts to Nick Cage at the funeral getting very emotional. There's like a good movie in that dynamic that we just don't get out of the writing in this.
Because that's what it's like when I saw it. It's like I thought there was going to be a little bit more of that, where we got to see like the things that Nick Cage did for her husband that made things better, easier, whatever
the reason she likes him is because it reminds her of her husband. Right, he's the guy who was there when they were both together, and now that's. But like, we just sort of don't. But then she, in her like reverie and realizing that she obviously wants to keep Nick Cage around, she walks outside, goes out to the perimeter where he's up, trying to stay awake during his Secret Service secret stakeout, and this did make me actual laugh. She like pops into the window while he's trying to pour coffee out of a thermos, and he does not just jump a little and spill some. He throws mug and carafe at the windshield, and it's like a coffee explosion, and he goes, ah! I was like, that actually, I had to rewind and watch that a couple more times, because I was like, there's Nicolas Cage doing way too much big acting. Oh my gosh. But she wants him back. She does. And she invites him in for coffee. And then she says, I don't want coffee. Do you want to get drunk with me instead? And they wind up having some drinks inside and then going to a bar. And they have a little connection moment there. I might have maybe had trouble focusing. She maybe did tell him in this scene that she was sick. That might be the moment. I was sort of losing like the ability to focus on this movie at that point.
This movie's still going, huh? We were
really deep into this movie, and I paused it to see how much was left around this time, and I was like, kind of a lot. And then I looked at the thing on IMDb, and it described it as a comedy thriller, and I was like, thriller? Not so far. This is mostly about having arguments with a little old lady, but we'll get there. Everyone gets invited back to the house. They set up Secret Service again. And then she starts getting really excited because her husband's like presidential library is like finally done.
There was like a flip in her attitude that goes from, I'm not going to make, things tough anymore. I'm not going to be, I want to go out. Like there's a big deal. Like there's 2 or 3 things coming up. And she wants, and because she comes down, she's like, get the machine guns ready.
Yeah.
Because I'm going out. Get the machine guns ready.
There's a lot on this movie. I when we were talking about this earlier, I said there's a lot of scenes in this movie where machine guns get racked and loaded, but no payoff. They never get fired.
Right. Because it's like the music, it gets this upturn, and the violins are going, and she's looking through her closet.
Yeah,
and,
the president's coming to visit.
Right,
to
things are moving and shaking.
And so there is a funny little grocery store scene where she's shopping with one person at the grocery store, and Nick Cage is stationed with a manager.
And this is the connection that they made, that they realized they both have to, cede a little bit of, to each other. She wants a bit of a normal life, but guess what? She also knows that, and Nick Cage, he wants to be able to secure the perimeter, but she's going to play into the...
So their compromise does mean bothering everybody.
Everybody.
So they have a crazy grocery store exchange where she's like price checking by using a Secret Service daisy chain through walkie-talkies. But then she's doing all this prep and finds out that the president is not coming. And instead he's sending like someone pretty far down in chain of command. He's the secretary of not even Treasury, I don't think. It's lower than that. It was definitely like they picked one where so that you would go, is that a real office? do we have a secretary?
Where she was actually higher up the food chain than this person coming in.
It's no longer a state's visit. It feels like a blow off. And it was that she totally drops mood. My notes say it's almost become like a quiet contemplation on depression. Like she then is like just going through the motions of this visit. She does a speech that's extremely catty but like sophisticated enough to like pass as not. And then she's like, I want to go on a picnic. She tells Nick Cage, I want to go on a picnic, which means sitting by a lake alone in the winter.
And it was a very pretty picture too. Like it was almost like a piece of art in the frame when I first saw it.
A very competent bit of cinematography.
It was. Like when I saw it, I'm like, ooh, I kind of want an oil painting of that.
Picture all alone. We got a nice, like a body of water when it's really cold, where it's like gray, right? And it's very cloudy outside. She's dressed all in winter clothes, but like fancy rich people winter clothes.
It's all very natural colors, browns, grays, greens.
She's got a table with a tablecloth. And she's sitting all alone. She's like half asleep.
And like something of like a hill. It's like a green, like it might be a golf course because it's like you see
got
the
look
water.
Of that, like a knoll, like a very gentle. It's very pretty. She looks very sad.
It looks like a place that you go to die.
Well, and I thought the movie was about to get really sad. Nick Cage walks up to like check on her, and she's asleep, much like the opera. And but
there's a moment in there where you think she might have passed away. Like she's sitting in this crazy. It's not quite a Salvador Dali situation, but it's a surreal. Me myself, no, I can't. I don't know where I can find all of these things all at once just so I can go. But she does, and he walks up and checks her pulse. And it's like, oh my God.
He grabs her shoulder to wake her up, and she doesn't. And he immediately is like, uh-oh. And checks her pulse, and he, like, releases. She's fine. But he does then pick her up, and I was like, literally, he goes to check her pulse, and I'm like, is the thriller part of this movie that she succumbs to the brain tumor? Does that pass as a thriller in the terms of this movie?
Well, that would at least be a complete story, right? Like, we
finished that arc at least, and then maybe it's about Nick Cage being like realizing what he lost,
right?
Because finally they're connecting, and no, that would probably maybe have been a better story, but.
I think it would have been it would have caught your attention. It would have brought you back to the story.
Yeah,
something really at risk here.
Instead, Nick Cage, for some reason, this visit Nick Cage is convinced should be just her, Nick Cage, and the driver. He picks her up and
it's the trust that they formed.
Yeah,
that's true. Her and Nick Cage, they realize that it's like we're here for each other's betterment. So
they need to get along,
right? If you need some time to deal with your stuff, yes, I'm willing to cut down on the circus that needs to go with you. And so this little picnic scene was that situation.
So he puts her in the car. They're packing up all the stuff. He tells
can't forget all the crap.
Yeah, all the ephemera, and he looks out, and again in another very lonely, quaint cinematography scene, the chair is all by itself out against the background of the lake, and he turns to the driver and goes, "I'll get the chair." Walks away, and while he's getting the chair, they drive off.
Car just takes off,
and he's like, she did it again. He gets mad. He throws the chair at the ground.
And it's that scene where it's like there's probably at least 30 minutes of Nick Cage throwing that chair around.
There's a lot. Nick Cage probably did a lot of big moments with that chair, and we don't get the biggest one. I really don't feel like we do. So he does that, and he's angry at first, and he's calling the sheriff, and he's like, but they're not back for a long time. And it starts to become more worrying.
He gets back to the house, and they're not there.
Yeah.
And what do you mean? All right. We got to put a call out.
So they resort to telling Washington, and all these Secret Service guys arrive on separate private jets.
They're all showing up. Helicopters, jets, cars rolling in.
He's so jealous of all of them, and you can tell. Even through all the growing he's done in the movie, he sees all these guys who are like,
all going around, all taking, bringing in radio equipment, the big, computer screens.
The fucking guy from Independence Day is there. The Secretary of State from Independence Day plays one of the lead Secret Service guys, and he marches off the plane. And while I was watching, I immediately went, ugh, because it's just he's always
this pencil pusher.
He's always that guy.
This bureaucrat.
And so all the quote real Secret Service guys set up shop. They're trying to figure out what happened, try to find out where she is, and he's sort of handing over the job he really wanted, the action, to all these other people because he, in their eyes, fucked up.
Yep,
which
he is a joke.
One
one of the old guys,
the CIA guy.
Yeah, he has the mustache. He stops dead, looks at You know, it's like, you lost a little old lady.
7 armed Secret Servicemen, and you lost an old
You
woman.
disgust me.
I was like...
And I'm like, oh,
I was like, you have to work with him
you disgust
still
me.
for a little bit. So there's a big kerfuffle. What winds up happening is they find the driver on the side of the road.
Yep,
and
the car comes up.
Yep. And the driver's on the side of the road. He's all hurt and unconscious. They're like, oh my gosh, what happened? And Nick Cage becomes Doug the detective.
Oh.
He's using all those skills he wants. And he's like, now wait a minute. They left the syringe behind in the car that they used to knock out the driver. That's really sloppy. And then he's like, he's got these burns on his neck. And one of the Secret Service agents describes them as
occult-like.
Crescent moons. Crescent moons like an Islamic terrorist might use. And it's like, that never goes away, huh? That's going to be in movies forever.
Yep.
And
hey, what shade of brown people do you think made this mark? Well, what do you think, huh?
The president is trying to...
Venezuelan, maybe? Nah.
We'll date the episode by talking too much about the imminent Venezuelan problems that we are having now with the country. Let's hope that's not something that is like a news item that I get quoted on. But Nick Cage is immediately suspicious, and he gets like a Dr. House like brain blast moment when he's in the car.
A little bit of a Sherlock situation.
Yeah. He's trying to light a cigarette for someone, or someone asks for a light, and he realizes the cigarette lighter
he puts 2 and 2 together.
Would be in the back of her car, because she's always a passenger. It's a chauffeur situation.
And he's saying, and he rambles off, like, you know what? She's a fighter.
She's a fighter. She's
like, not going to go down without making some type of mess.
Yeah. So they go to interrogate the driver, and Nick Cage brings the little cigarette lighter thing. If any of my viewers are young, or listeners rather, are young, and you're thinking, what the hell are you talking about? In the 90s, people smoked in their cars, even with the windows up. And to facilitate
That's how you get the most use out of the cigarette, by keeping the windows up, keeping the smoke in as much as you can.
It just makes everything move faster. And to light a cigarette in a car, to like hold up an open flame, like light a match, is really dangerous. And so...
Not that smoking cigarettes in a car...
Right, yeah. You would still have a lit piece of paper in your mouth.
Cancer stick in your mouth.
Yeah, you should see Uncle Buck if you want to... Or not Uncle Buck. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles,
too, yeah.
if you want to see why you shouldn't smoke in a car. But they used to have these little like plunger things. You would press like a button, and it would like click in for a few seconds, and then it would pop out, and when you pulled it out, it was like a hot little coil.
Red hot poker.
And you touched it once in your life and remembered to never do it again.
Yeah. Most stupid kids did touch it, and it's like, oh, it's not that bad, and then, you're missing one of your fingerprints.
You got a real unique,
real
unique mark. So he takes one of those. It's just a little plunger. You could pull it out, and it would still be cold. And they bring it to the hospital, and they sort of compare it to the burn marks. Now, I don't know about you, but I think the makeup artist should have been fired.
Oh, yes.
Because they weren't the right size.
Awful indication of a burn mark. Because it's one of those... Because I think they've played this in other movies, TV shows, where someone gets burned by the cigarette lighter. It's like, oh, no, it's, the raised indentation, whatever, from the... It's like, none of that.
Yeah.
None of that.
And it would be like a bad burn. These were hot. These things got dangerous. So it doesn't look like that, and also is not quite for them to like put it up against it and be like, that's proof. It's not quite the right size.
But at the same time, that's probably the level of care that the Secret Service would take.
It's as much.
Oh no, this works. Yep,
as much proof as any law enforcement officer makes. So Nick Cage immediately goes fully insane.
Yep.
And he's like, Earl did it. The driver did it. He kidnapped her. He takes his gun out and points it at his head. And
now, part of me thought this was going to be a good cop, bad cop scenario. because the other agent is in the room, and he doesn't quite show a level of, this is what are you doing? Oh my God, put your gun away. What the hell are you doing? It's hey, okay, let's just come on. Yeah. What are you doing, my man? Come on, why are we doing this?
He doesn't play it right because it's very obvious that Doug just decided he was going to kill this guy if he couldn't find out what Tess was.
And this is the most Nick Cage gets in the movie.
He flies off the handle. He's pointing the gun at the guy's head, and this is the guy from Independence Day is like, you can't, if you kill him, none of this matters. We can't do anything. And so he takes his gun and points it at the driver's feet, and he says, I'm going to count to 3, and every time I get to 3, I'm going to shoot one of your toes off. And the driver is like, he's crazy. He obviously set this up. He's the one who set up to kidnap her. He's out of his mind.
Yep. He hates her.
And then he shoots him in the foot, and this did crack me up. The driver goes, he didn't count.
Right.
He didn't count.
But that's Nick Cage.
Yeah.
He's not going to give you that.
So then,
he's going to catch you by surprise.
Almost relenting, he then goes, 1, 2. But they find out from the driver.
Yeah, he ends up spewing it out. He just starts talking.
He's like, my sister and my brother-in-law have her.
They put me up to it.
They put me up to it. She's in an abandoned farmhouse, and that for some reason is a bad enough lie that he goes, abandoned farmhouse, yeah, right. And he's about to shoot him again, and he's like, no, really? Why would I lie at this stage?
And he's kind of like crying, hanging over him, like he's hugging him. Like he's like, come on, Doug, we've known each other for a long time.
He's like, please don't.
Oh my God, I can't believe
I'm already probably going to jail.
Right? I'm still poor, Doug. It's not like I got to use any of this money, Doug.
So they, the whole bolo out. Everyone's going out. They drive out to this farmhouse. This is the
it's like moment. They're going after E.T.
It is like the amount of SWAT gear they had on for this, when it was like, I don't know what they were maybe expecting. 2 people who might have guns.
2 hillbillies.
And they literally are just hanging out, and they break through the windows, they bust down the doors. Everyone's got submachine guns pointed at them. These 2 people immediately freak out and are like, yeah, we'll tell you where.
Right,
yeah.
Like rifle butt to the face. Yeah. The husband, oh my God.
So they take her out to this farmhouse, and they're like looking and can't find her, and they go, she's here. They point to the ground. There's a big PVC pipe.
Just a pipe coming up out of the ground.
They buried her in the Saddam Hussein spider hole. I was like, that's the spider hole. She's down there. The little diagram. She's laying down, and the pipe's right at her mouth. And so they start digging, and they're digging, and they've dug a long way. And then Nick Cage is like, hey, let us dig.
We're her team.
Yeah, we want to find her. And they're like, no. And then someone else is like, no, let them. Which is like, it's crazy that you'd say no, because, I don't know, I haven't done a lot of digging, but you take shifts.
Right? It's an
emergency.
Like the fact that you guys don't have bulldozers in here or any type of other machinery. It's just 6 guys who look like my dad.
6.
Who are shoveling pretty shittily, too.
6 pudgy career Secret Service men.
Oh my God. And that's probably the reason why she got so green. It's like if you guys actually had fit people in here they were smart people, you would have found her a lot sooner.
So they get down there.
Ding ding!
Yeah.
I found something!
Nick Cage is like digging up, and they find like where the PVC pipe meets like a little coffin, essentially. Like I guess, or like a little.
We'll just call it a coffin.
Yeah, I mean it's not deep enough that they buried her in like a culvert or like a full on like a tank in the ground. It's just a box.
Yeah.
He checks on her. They get her out. She's being taken to the hospital, and they get her on a helicopter, and all these Secret Service guys, all the real Secret Service guys, and the CIA guys are walking onto the helicopter.
Her team, they're dirty from finding her or watching her being put into the helicopter.
And they walk up to get on, and the jar head or whoever is in charge of the helicopter is like, I can't let you on. They got too many people, and they're like, well, we're her team, and they're like, everyone's full, and so they start walking away, and then I guess she, even in the state she's in, cajoles this Marine.
The strength.
The helicopter
finds the strength.
The helicopter goes up and it comes right back down to land, and this Marine comes out of the helicopter and is like, is there somebody named Doug here? She won't leave without Doug Chesnick.
Doug Chesnick. And then you get another fucking
daisy chain of
people yelling Doug Chesnick.
Doug Chesnick.
Doug Chesnick?
And they hear that
I'm Doug Chesnick.
Nick Cage comes back with all his team, and they're like, the Marine's like, she won't go without you guys, without her team,
her Secret Service detail.
And they're all like, yeah, we're the ones who lost her. We deserve to.
And the thing was, like, earlier when all those guys showed up, and like you had said, Nick Cage stood there watching these guys get out of this helicopter because they were the big dogs.
Yep.
And they were all looking down on the team that lost the little old lady. And you're never going to be one of us.
And they're the ones who found her. The salty-ass CIA guy gets off the helicopter and is clearly still not impressed with Nick Cage. Like, he didn't... it's a moment in another movie where he would have been, like, gotten off and given him a little nod, right? Where it's like... You know what? You pulled it out. He absolutely doesn't. He barrels him and is like, I could kill you in a second, you moron.
Because the Marine looks in and says, I'm going to need some of you guys to get out. And so all of a sudden, all these bigwigs, they got to get out of the helicopter. So the fucking team that lost this whole...
the guys...
They get to it. They finally made it. They're varsity now.
It's the replacements. So they get her to the hospital. She wakes up and Nick Cage is there. Again, another weird rom-com beat, like they're about to kiss. And
very similar to Captain America when Falcon is sitting next on your left.
She wakes up and she's like getting better, and like she's ready to leave, and she's all happy. And she walks out, and the guy from the hospital has a wheelchair. Every person in America knows this. I think this might even be worldwide. I don't have any reason to believe otherwise. You're leaving the hospital, you get in a wheelchair. And she's like, no, I'm not getting in a wheelchair. And the guy from the hospital is like, I don't, it's a rule. And she's about to go off about the rules. And Nick Cage...
She's like, I don't do it. I'm not doing it. And she's like, I'm sorry, miss. You have to be in the thing. Like, I don't have any...
Cage butts in and he's like, listen. He tells the guy, like, look, rules, fine.
Because he has a moment where he's watching it. It's like, oh my God, am I watching myself argue with her?
He finally sees it.
And he has like a little grin on his face. He's just like, oh, this kid, if I could only tell him.
Then he turns to her and he goes, Tess, get in the goddamn chair. And she's finally acquiesces and she's like, oh, you're gonna do just fine, Doug, which is not the mood this movie. I have no idea what she meant by that, but it is how the movie ends.
She pats him. It's like, oh,
like, you're gonna do just fine. In what way? In what context? What are you talking about? It's not a movie about he's not a rookie.
No, and he's not learning to like. It's like his
if anything,
bedside manner is like.
If anything, he's gonna have to like unlearn all the weird shit she had him do to go back to his normal job.
Because he leans into the nurse and says, "Is it really that big of a rule?" And it's like, yes, actually, it's a very big rule.
Right.
It's a very important thing.
It's extreme, so that you don't fall and die in the lobby of a hospital on accident. It's super important. So, and then credits. That's it.
And roll credits.
We're done. That's the movie.
Out of the hospital, roll credits.
Oh man. No post-credits scene.
Yep.
So no, Tess is not going to return in Avengers 4. And
no, cutaways to, oh, Agent Smith ended up going on to doing this.
Yeah,
we don't get it, or
it's implied he does
or
this.
Or the nurse, we want to find out what happens to him.
Or even like a fun song at the end, because it's like so...
I'm all right.
or like, give me some shots of everybody welcoming her home and her maybe being a little less nothing. We just get her adoring fans and she's waving and Nicolas Cage is pushing her and he's like happy-ish. Yeah. But I don't know, they're going to get into an argument again in 3 weeks and do the whole thing again.
Yeah, nothing is accomplished in this movie other than maybe their personal relationship is a little bit better. Because it's only a matter of time before Nicolas Cage wants to do bigger and better things.
Yeah,
right?
Or that she might die because she's apparently very sick, which never comes back again.
You know what? And that would be the sequel, is Nick Cage's character dealing with Tess's death.
Yeah, a little character drama. That sounds like him. I did not... For an upswing movie, it was very disappointing. Not my favorite so far. I also was disappointed, as folks, listeners know, I get these movies from the Chicago Public Library on DVD. That's how I've gotten every single one of these movies so far. No special features, nothing. Zero. No deleted scenes, no commentary, no photo gallery, no trailers for other movies. This movie opens, FBI warning, DVD menu has play, language.
And that's not just funny because it's about a government movie. It's not
right. No,
it's all very serious. It's all
every movie has an FBI warning,
right?
And so
this one should have came with a double FBI warning.
Yeah. The images you were about to see are classified. This movie should have been classified.
Because if my tax dollars are going to a little old lady trying to live out her... It's like, come on. Do you know how much money that cost in 1994?
An insane...
to rally an entire town's police force and bring helicopters... it's like, oh my God, it's like $1 trillion nowadays that we just spent on looking...
Yeah, the president is overlooking the budget and he's like... Damn it, Tess again. Always causing issues.
I got Saddam Hussein, I got Tess. I got two big pains in my ass.
Two biggest pain in the asses are Saddam and Tess.
Now you can handle one of these for me, Doug, and you ain't doing it.
Truly, there are so many moments in this movie where I was like, if I could isolate these 10 minutes... and extrapolate them, and that's the whole movie, it really would have been better than the sum of this movie's parts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Guarding Tess. Pretty milquetoast. I mean, largely inoffensive. I've seen Nicolas Cage movies that are more bombastically bad than this, but just not worth getting out of bed for necessarily.
If you need something on in the background and you need to be looking at Nick Cage, at all times, put this on. You don't have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, if you're like me and you're doing this for some reason, that's another good reason why. Yeah, you're going to have to check it out the list eventually. So, I think that'll put us pretty close to wrap up. Then we can be done. We can put things at the end there. Anthony, do you have any plugs, anything about your life you want people to know about, places they can find you, things that you're doing?
Yes, Cody. I'm actually trying to think because I don't think of those things right off the top of my head. I'm not like a pitch man like that.
Sure.
But yes, I'm on Instagram at...
So, yeah, it is Anthony Jordan _007.
Oh, okay. There.
That's
what I'm always reading because it's like, oh yeah, it's something I'm not completely disappointed in myself for doing when I, in my youth, a whole lot of email accounts with super inappropriate names.
Okay. Oh, you've got more posts.
Yeah, there we go.
There they all are.
I'm sure. Yeah.
There we go. So that is great. Check out if you're in LA. You do stand-up?
Right. The greater Hollywood area, obviously, will be out there. The Hollywood Comedy. Great place. Come check it out.
All right. Cool. Well, and as you all know, you can find me all over the internet as Caged Men Pod, Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube if you go to @CagedMenPod for all of those. And if you want to send an email to ask me a question, you want to know about an upcoming episode, you want to say something nice about me or about my guests, you can send an email to cagedmenpod@gmail.com.
Now, sometimes there's another website called cagedmen.com that has been getting
That's not me. I don't do that. I'm not one of those types of. It's a pun about Nick Cage and jail.
Right, but then apparently there's a lot of other people that like Caged Men.
It's I'm not about to say that it's a bad thing. It's just not for me.
Right. If that's what you're into,
Live your life. Some of us live closer to West Hollywood than others, so they know this better than me. But
worked in West Hollywood for a great number of years. Let me tell you, my friend, West Hollywood is everything they tell you it is.
Terrific. I should visit sometime. But we will close on that fascinating diversion. And I will leave you with this.
Caged Men in West Hollywood.
Yeah, go look up Caged Men in West Hollywood and tell me if it's different than the show. And what I will say to close things off is, of course, Tess, get in the goddamn chair.
Get in the goddamn chair, Tess.